Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is a very good morning to all Kenyans with a little bit of some rain outside there. My name is Abdulrahman Gaddafi and this is Stay Healthy. Today being on Tuesday, each and every Tuesday we meet here so that we can educate you and to make you, my viewer, to feel and have a healthy lifestyle. Today, my topic of discussion will be headache. With me in our studio is Dr. S. Mahendra S. He's going to tell us more about the headache thing and all that it comes with it and how to prevent it and how you can have a good healthy lifestyle where you're watching us from. Welcome. Remember, this program is brought to you by Nairobi Neurocare and my name is Abdulrahman Gaddafi. The way I mentioned, our guest today inside here is Dr. Mahendra S. Chouhan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh and welcome. Daktari, good morning.
Much. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah,
everything
good.
Is great?
Yes.
Yes, so today our discussion, it's all about headache.
Headache, yeah.
And more people are complaining about having headache. It's not the small people, it's not adult, it's not a youthful people. Maybe explain for us, what types of headaches do we have?
Well, first of all, the frequency of headache, that it is said that 100% of population on this planet, at least once in their lifetime, experience headaches. So now you can see that how serious this problem is. That everyone on the planet is going to face headache. And headache starts as soon as we have kids who can complain. It is so common. Pediatric migraines have been very common, and we have seen kids who are as young as 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, going to the school, and many times you just ignored them of headaches. And in past few years you've done some more research about headache, and we came to a conclusion that migraines, cluster headaches, they all can have actually a different origin. So I would like my team to transfer the camera presentation so that I can explain them that if you say migraine, then migraine means what? Migraine usually is a throbbing headache which keeps on recurring, usually is confined to only right or left half or front or back half. Okay. And one of the criteria for migraine was that the diagnostics remain normal. There is nothing abnormal in the body. The blood tests are normal, the CT scans and MRI are normal. So basically when you are saying that, that means you're saying we don't know the cause of migraine. So if you don't know the migraine cause, you don't know the source, then where would you treat it? So treatments have remained very speculative in headache. Okay. And then when we were researching things and we came through certain very interesting facts that the headache is coming, but it is coming more from outside the skull, when the classic teaching was the headache is coming from inside the brain, inside the skull, which is brain, blood vessels, lot of things. So of course we say, like usually when people say migraines, cluster headaches are short bursts of headache. It comes like an explosive headache and goes back. But to a general population, I would say never ignore your headaches. Okay. It can be due to a life-threatening cause. So the International Headache Society has told very clearly that when a headache patient approaches you, first thing that you need to do is a scan, maybe a CT scan or MRI. So the first thing is that we must rule out a life-threatening cause of headache. So say someone is developing a brain tumor, the first symptom would be headache, not unconsciousness, not convulsions, but headache, because there is something which is trying to expand in brain, and our cranium has got a limited volume, and brain is entirely fit into it snugly. So anything which is being added, say a blood, so patient gets a brain hemorrhage, headache is the first sign. If there is increased water pressure, then headache is the first sign. So Scan is a very basic thing.
So we can get into the presentation so that at least we see.
Yeah. And then we have now gone into interventional headache management. We realize that there are so many people who are actually suffering from headache, and so we have now dedicated services for headache management. I had so many bankers, so many people who are working in corporate setups, who work with tight leashes, who work with timelines and deadlines, and these are the people who are continuously working. They get a lot of headaches, yeah, and particularly females, because they are trying to balance between the home and the work life, and then they're more sincere in general. So nothing against men, but they try to be, you know, they tend to complete their work more often, so they get more headaches when they're working because they have other responsibilities. So now we have gone on to interventional headache management, but what I want to say is that classical teaching has been, even to me, in my medical schools, where the headache comes from the internal causes, which is anything lying under the skull. But when we have seen now more and more cases, and we studied more, we realized that the cause of headache is mostly lying under the skin or the scalp. So let me show this one. That if you see this, there was a great guy who did a study of dead bodies of people who had a history of headache, like in Western world. They have a very stringent medical history and record keeping. So when the people died, they did the study of people who had severe headache throughout their lifetime. And they come up with certain findings we will show, but this in general is something which needs to be known, that these tiny structures that we are seeing under the scalp are nerves. So how richly the scalp is supplied by thousands of nerves, and they all connect together. So they originate from few nerves, but they branch into hundreds and thousands, and they connect with each other. So if there is a trigger point at one nerve, it can basically flow into others. Because all these are sensory nerves, meaning they are drawing the information from the periphery and getting back into the brain. So if there is a pressure point at one nerve, say a compression of a blood vessel or a compression of a tissue band, now this is causing pain as a trigger, but then this pain is now flowing into other nerves and coming back from everywhere. So say for example, I had on my left temple side, I had a nerve which was compressed, but with time this pain will start going through the other nerves. It finds other channels to get into brain system. Okay, so these are the nerve supplies, but there are certain pressure points from where the pain comes, and we can pinpoint them. We have
because
patients.
you find that most of people, they have their own complaint. You find someone is telling you, I'm having an headache, but this headache is from this side or from the back. So maybe what does it tell when you find? So
that's what I'm saying, that these are nerves which have got a specific origin, from front, from back, from side, right or left side. There are few trigger points which I'm showing on these presentations. Okay, and I'll show you why that the pain comes from these points. The best thing is you start pressing them when the patient comes to us. We examine them. We initially, if I've got a patient who's got history of say 20 years of daily headache, and we have many like these, then they have pain in all the nerves. Meaning the theory that I'm saying, that is, we call it a neuroresonance, that although it's starting from one place, but it is now being felt from all the sides. So we don't know from where it is coming. So we don't know in the beginning of patient with chronic headaches, where is the trigger point, and that's our duty to find the trigger point. And if we can somehow remove the trigger point, the headache will be cured. So now we are working more on the cure of the headache, because even maybe 2 years, 3 years back, I used to say there is no cure for headache, you only manage it. But now we are curing headaches.
That's
so
a good
apart
news.
from these trigger points, I would also want to say one more thing, is that if you see the nerve supply of the face and front of the head and the back of the head, they all integrate in the upper cervical spinal cord, which is in this part, which is the first, second and third vertebra. The nerves inside, they integrate. So if someone has a trigger point on the back of the head, gradually they start feeling pain even in the face of the head, and vice versa.
So from back to the face.
Even if someone has got a
front side.
facial pain, will eventually they will see the pain is here, but now it is also coming
You
here.
feel it at
Yeah, so
the
they will
back.
give a history. It started from here, but now it's everywhere. It's more in the back. And many times it also goes up to the hand, cervical spine, and those kind of things. Yeah.
Okay.
So when I was saying the trigger points, so the trigger points say the nerve is going from here. This is just above the eye, if you see this. So this nerve which goes and supplies the forehead of one side, if there is a tight band around it, then this is going to compress the nerve, and then pain starts from here and gradually starts flowing everywhere. I'll give you another example. The nerves are going from here. They can get trapped into the muscle itself. And then because the nature has provided a particular plane that it has to go between the two muscle sheets. But if it goes through a muscle, then when you're frowning or when you are tense and these muscles are tense,
You feel the pain.
it strangulates the nerve, and then pain starts.
You feel the pain.
Yeah, and then patient will say, my pain always starts from here.
Yeah.
And now we're doing surgeries for these things.
Some people, they complain that when I concentrate so much in computers, I find that I receive a lot of headache, which is hitting me from this side, in front, the head.
Yes. So it's not the concentration, it's basically the nerves which are getting irritated.
Okay.
And then there's a lot of light which is going through the screens from to the eye, and then as I said, if the so if you're seeing these muscles around the eyes, okay, these if we can show the slide again, I want this slide to be seen, so I can explain your question that why it is happening.
Okay, I think my producer can put the presentation on screen so that at least we can understand more about.
Yeah, because these are complex topics, and unless we do illustrations,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, it's there.
So you see these eye muscles, okay? It squeezes the eye, it closes the eye. These are the eyes which wink as well. And then these muscles, so whenever there is light, we have an internal diaphragm and an external diaphragm. These muscles act as external diaphragm. So when there is too much light, first the pupil contracts and tries to reduce the amount of light. But if you are constantly doing that, then gradually these muscles also try to shrink so that you can close the eyes and you can reduce the light that is constantly going into your system. And that's when gradually these light starts triggering the muscle contraction, which can trigger into a headache as well.
Okay. And maybe to the matters of our lifestyle with this headache, putting in mind that it affects everyone it cuts across to everyone. How does it affect our daily life?
Very important.
Yes.
Which I have seen personally, because as medical students you have irregular hours. Sometimes when you're studying a lot.
Yes.
So, and for many, you can say up to 2 decades you're studying. And I have seen all kind of study pattern in myself in the first place.
Yes.
That initially most of the students at exam time are waking up in the night.
Yeah.
And they don't get up early. Yeah. So this lifestyle of getting up, you're awake till late, and in keeping late hours, that is something which is definitely a precursor for headaches. If you get up early, you start keeping early hours. I have seen clearly whenever I am sleeping late, past 1 a.m., and nowadays particularly after 2 a.m., I know that in the morning I'll have headache and I'll have to take some medication.
Okay.
So if you keep early hours, if you start getting about 4:30 or 5, people who get up early in morning have got much less headaches. Then if you can calm down your mind, you tend not to submit to the daily stresses of life, say meditation, which is my favorite topic.
Yes.
If you do meditation or if you are doing into such practices, you are able to calm down in stressful situations.
You cool yourself.
And yes, and so the headache is less because the stresses are going to be there daily.
Hold it there, Dr. Mahendra. We are taking a short break. When we get right back here, we're going to discuss more about on how you can manage your headache, and also to discuss about the blood pressure. Most of people have blood pressure. Does headache comes across or comes in line with that disease or illness? I'm taking a short break. When I get right back here, we'll discuss more.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
What makes the exchange of goods and services interesting?
From the word Fayaz Bakers, anyone can know what we are doing. So, but mostly we are known for our cookies and cakes.
What makes human beings seek for needs and wants?
When the customer takes the trip, we make sure that we call them and we say, how was the trip? And they're like, oh, the trip was good, it was nice, okay, we've rewarded you with this.
What makes the young venture into business?
Alipenda kufanya sadaka and stuff. Alipataka kufanya vishete, so I told her, let me make vishete. So akanipatia kila kitu, I did it, and they turned out better than hers.
But what really motivates their actions?
I was telling brother, it's difficult. Usichoke, unaweza.
Join us on Show Me the Market as we seek to understand the market of different businesses for young entrepreneurs, only on Horizon TV.
Verse of the day.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وسيق الذين اتقوا ربهم إلى الجنة زمرًا حتى إذا جاءوها وفتحت أبوابها وقال لهم خزنتها سلام عليكم طبتم فادخلوها خالدين وقالوا الحمد لله الذي صدقنا وعده وأورثنا الأرض نتبوأ من الجنة حيث نشاء فنعم أجر العاملين.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back. This is Stay Healthy and my name is Abdulrahman Gaddafi. Our topic of discussion today is headache. Remember, this program is brought to you by Nairobi Neurocare, and my guest today, the one who is helping me to define more about this headache issue, is Dr. Mahendra S. Chouhan. Karibu sana daktari once again. Yes, before we took our short break, we were discussing about on how you can regulate yourself to cool yourself so that you cannot get that extreme pain out of headache.
Another thing that I say is that don't get just embedded into work. And recently I was talking to the head of a very senior foundation, that in corporate practices people are getting too much involved only into their targets. But life is all about keeping a balance. So in the lifestyle change, then you should also find something where you go deep in your life.
Yeah, and doctor, maybe let us speak about the blood pressure with headache. Does it go in line?
Yeah, so if someone did not have a headache for a long time, like most of the patients who had so-called migraine, have a very long history. They usually start from their early or late childhood or early adulthood. If people in their 40s, they suddenly started having headaches, we get worried. And we want, first thing is the blood pressure. Definitely a lot of people who have an unexplained headache, they have these initial rise of blood pressure which can definitely cause it, and a very good control of blood pressure is always required for a persistent headache to be controlled. Yeah, so blood pressure is that, but any person who is having recent headaches should always look into a possibility of hypertension, because usually when you are in 30s, you don't think you will ever get a disease.
Yes.
Yeah. You see patients around you every day,
Yes.
but still you think that you will not get somehow any of these diseases. But headache can be an early sign of hypertension. Definitely.
Wow. And some people, when they speak about headache, some they're like, I cannot take medication. I can just stay for some time and the pain disappears alone. Is there types of headache that maybe they just come for some time? We can call it like a seasonal headache.
I don't know, because every day we can see one another hospital popping up in a city.
Yes.
In most of the cities in the world. Why? Because there are so many patients.
Yes.
And then you have to go to these hospitals, meaning that today's world cannot live without hospitals, without medical help.
Yes.
But at the same time, I see a lot of misconceptions which are self-made without any reasons, that I don't want to take a medication. In headache, it's very important. You realize if you are having regular headaches, maybe once or twice a week, then you must know whether the headache is very self-limited, which is mostly a cluster headache. It comes, it is very serious, severe, but then it goes back quickly.
Okay.
It can be just a muscle spasm. But if it is becoming more regular, you will always find that we start thinking of taking a tablet only when now we are not able to work. And that's not a good time to take a medication.
Some people say that when I take coffee,
yes, no, coffee definitely.
My headache.
Coffee has got caffeine, so obviously it works, it relieves headache. Like for me, I had a beautiful experience having chamomile tea, which definitely gives a headache relief. Chamomile tea.
Some people, they complain if they've not taken
No, I
the
can
black
recommend
tea.
chamomile tea if they are taking. After long flights, I've been to some foreign countries. I went there, I didn't find a medication. And then there was a chamomile tea, I took it and my headache just went away.
It disappears.
But that doesn't make a treatment, it is not a medication. It relieves you, mostly after, say, you had a very long flight, you were awake, you're working, and then chamomile tea definitely would give a headache relief. But what I'm saying, try to take, if you're having regular headaches, kill it much before it goes on to the peak.
Okay.
Any devil you can fight only in the early stages. Later on it becomes difficult.
True.
So headache is a devil which can actually devastate. It has devastated people's life. I have a patient who is now in her late 40s, who was working in Kuwait, very highly paid job, but because of headache, her absenteeism in the work increased so much, she was sacked. Then she came back home, and then husband and wife fought. The divorce happened because of headache. Then she saw so many changes happening because of headache. She sold her property, went to US and UK multiple centers. Still her headache was not relieved. And she was having headache almost every day, so much so that she would weep, close her room. It would intimidate children also. So headache has a power to devastate. Try taking pills as early as possible if you know that my headaches are getting regular, and then get a checkup.
We take medication.
Yeah.
Maybe let us speak on the types of headache and what they mean. Some people, they complain, I receive a lot of forehead headache. Some people, they complain side to side headache. Some people, they also mention that I receive a lot of back pain.
Yes.
Yeah, on your head, at the back, You receive a lot of headache. Maybe what does it mean?
So there are several meanings. As I said in the beginning, we have several trigger points now we know, and these are the greater occipital nerve and lesser occipital nerve in the back. In the side we have got the temporal nerve, in the front we have got the frontal nerve. So these nerves, depending upon where the tension band is, that's one thing. Second thing, as a neurosurgeon, I would say there can be another reason like a brain tumor, its location. People who are complaining more of the back of the back headache, like we call it occipital region headache. They many times have got cervical spondylosis, and the first 3 nerves from the cervical spine, there are 7 cervical vertebrae and 8 nerves come out of it. First 3 nerves are supplying the back of the head. So a cervical spondylosis can also be a feature of headache. We call it cervicogenic headache. Yeah.
Okay, and some people, they ask about can headache kill someone?
Sorry?
Headache.
Yes, it can.
It kills?
Yes.
Yeah. What triggers?
So, headache is not a disease. Headache is usually a presentation. Like now we say they are neuralgias of your subgaleal nerves. I call it. It's not an official definition, but I call it. And I'm soon going to write a paper on, because now we have treated more than 150 patients here from last 1 year. And I would like to show the presentation. Please switch on to my slide presentation. Yeah. I had a very interesting guy who came to me, and he said that I have got only temple region pain. And I'm so fed up with this for the last 4 years, every day. I'm not able to work at all. Can we switch on to the presentation, please? Yeah. So this guy, this is the photo of him with the identity already hidden. So he said, why don't you cut my nerve? And that's when we started doing the interventional headache management, because I knew that which nerve goes here. And logic said that yes, I can cut the nerve and you'll never get the headache. So, but then before that I did a research, and I found these are called as the auriculotemporal nerve headaches or neuralgias. There are 8 cases reported in the world. It is so rare, only 8 cases. One we got. We cut the nerve as a daycare procedure under local anesthesia. His pain was finished. That's when we started studying more and more about the trigger points, and then we found out that there are so many nerves, they're getting compressed by the blood vessels around them or the tissue band around them. If we relieve them, we can do that, but before that we needed to find out which is the trigger point. So we started doing injections of local anesthetic at these nerves, and we found out patients are not getting headache for 6 months, 8 months.
And that's it's a good
just a single sitting of these nerve blocks.
Yeah, and maybe
give them a
Dr.
relief of up to 6 to 8 months.
Yes, Dr. Because of time, maybe as Nairobi Neurocare, what new methods are you guys using in terms of treating this type of illness?
So first and foremost, we started doing the surgeries, for nerve surgeries. Although for people, they think that the headache is, doing a surgery for a headache is too much. Of course, if you have ruled out that there is nothing like a brain tumor or increased pressure in the brain, or there is chronic hypertension, all these things are ruled out. And if we are able to examine and find out the trigger points, then we are now doing the nerve blocks for these patients. Patients are extremely happy. In a year, they may need up to only 2 sittings of nerve blocks. And in 1 year, we have only done 1 surgery. So the nerve blocks are so successful. But yeah, now migraine surgeries has been done by several plastic surgeons in US, but very few people have done here. So Nairobi Neurocare is the unique center in that case, that we offer a complete treatment for headache at a cure level.
And there is another question about headache, which it sounds funny. Is headache a sign of pregnancy?
Pregnancy is a physiology where a lot of fluid is collected in the body, a lot of hormonal changes happen. So yes, it can. Even migraines are known to increase in perimenstrual period, before and after, because of water retention. So these are well-known facts. We don't know if pregnancy was desired or not desired. It can also cause headache. So.
And also the same question can also apply to the ladies who are maybe in their menstruation periods. Some receive a lot of pain.
I covered that. The essential question in migraine history is that whether this is increasing around, we call it a perimenopausal headache, is like 3-4 days before to 3-4 days after.
As we wind up, because my producer is like, we have to wind up, about stress. Can stress cause headache?
I already told you, when people are working in, stress definitely it causes muscle contraction, it causes headache.
MashaAllah, that's so nice. That was Dr. Mahendra S. Chouhan explaining for us on how you can get headache, on how you can prevent yourself from the headache. And thank you so much, Dr. for showing up today and also educating us about this illness called headache.
Because people have gone abroad to get the blocks, incomplete blocks, and have come back, and we are doing it here in Nairobi on a daily basis. So yeah, Nairobi Neurocare should be looked for cure of headaches.
Yeah, Nairobi Neurocare is the place to go, or is the place to be, my dear viewer back at home. Thank you so much for sparing your time to watch Stay Healthy, as well for your company since we started till now that we are ending this show. My name is Abdulrahman Gaddafi. The doctor who was with me in this show is Dr. Mahendra S. Chouhan. The show is Stay Healthy, and remember, it was brought to you by Nairobi Neurocare. Till next Tuesday, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.